Whoa, whoa. Man.
Hey, Ben.
Hey, how's it going?
Nice to meet you.
This is me debating Ben Shapiro on Jubilee's show, Surrounded. Let's talk about how this happened. So this actually goes back a couple months. My good friend Sean, who I actually make most of my creative stuff with these days, got in a couple of Jubilee videos. And that was very funny to me. Because for those that are unaware, with people my generation, Jubilee is enormous. It is very well known, and it holds a certain kind of like status to people. So when I found out that Sean was in one of these videos, and in fact in a couple of these videos, it was hilarious. I love Jubilee, but it's not something you expect to find out about your friend, you know what I'm saying? So I asked him, hey Sean, how did you get in these videos? And he told me, oh, it's actually very easy. They have a casting form, an open casting form on their website that anyone can use to apply. So I went to that website and I saw that they were casting for a middle ground called pro versus anti-Biden Democrats. I applied and I sent in a video not thinking much was going to come of it. This is a snippet of the video.
This is our guy? This is the guy that we're supposed to rally behind?
No. I bring that part up because a lot of people have asked me why they think I got cast and why I think I was chosen over, I'm sure, the thousands of submissions they receive, and that's one of the main reasons. Basically, the video section that you're sending in is an audition or a self-tape where you're showing the producers and the casting directors and the people who are going to make the video themselves what you're going to bring on camera. So if you're not very good on camera or as an on-camera personality, I mean, I don't want to say you have no shot because they cast people like that too, but it is going to be a lot harder, I'm sorry to say. So anyway, a couple weeks go by, I end up getting an email from casting. We hop on a Zoom call, and a couple days later, I find out that I'm officially cast. And that gets my heart a-racing, obviously. The shoot date at that point was still like weeks away, so I had a lot of time to sort of mentally prepare and do my homework, of which I did very little, which is why I am definitely not a master debater. I thought I did pretty well, especially considering the fact that it was my first ever on-camera debate. I'd never done anything like that. And also the fact that Destiny was there. And in fact, the thumbnail designers for this video made it look like me and Destiny are having this like battle of wits throughout the video. I think we exchanged like maybe 4 or 5 words through the whole thing. By the way, not me complaining. To whoever it was in Jubilee that made this decision, thank you. Because, oh my god, opening my phone to this in my to my own face in my recommended on YouTube, possibly the funniest thing that has ever happened to me. I'm really grateful. Thank you. I appreciate it. Please don't change it. But also, wow, that was so funny. Anyway, to be honest with you, I was probably going to let that be the end of it. I didn't really have a huge interest in getting on Jubilee in the first place beyond the first one, and now that I had done that, it seemed like my box was checked and I could kind of move on to the next thing on my bucket list. But then I received an email from Jubilee Casting inviting me, straight out inviting me, to this giant middle ground they're about to film. It's the biggest middle ground they've ever done. 60 people in one room, 30 Democrats on one side, 30 Republicans on the other. I had a very good time, met a lot of very, very nice people, and then the video came out, and it turns out that Jubilee cut out basically everything I said. But seriously, it's fine. Like, I'm not even annoyed about it. So, very shortly after I filmed that video, I got an email not inviting me outright, but inviting me to apply for this one, for the Surrounded with Ben Shapiro. You know, it's like when a college writes somebody and they're like, we think you should apply, for no specific reason. Like, I had a very good sense that if I applied to this and I didn't half-ass the application, I would have a very good chance. And then a few days later, I found out I was cast in Surrounded. Okay, so a couple things right off the bat before we get into like the nitty-gritty. It's important to note, they don't tell you who you're going to go against. I think that makes a lot of sense, actually. You know, you want to build up the stakes for the people there so that it seems kind of like this exciting sort of energetic thing. And also, you know, it probably behooves the person who's come not to have a bunch of random people they don't know telling all their friends, like, I'm going to debate this person in a few days. But based on the fact that the last one was Charlie Kirk, not just like some conservative, but a very popular conservative commentator, and based on the fact that that video did ridiculously fucking well. I had a feeling it was going to be a very well-known conservative commentator for this one as well. So I drive there the morning of. Call time was 9:30 a.m., which is the earliest any of these have been. So I was extremely exhausted. You know, something funny that happened is I drove past this high school 2 or 3 or 4 miles down the road. I'm being very vague on purpose, but I just thought that was really interesting because, like I said, Jubilee with people my age, and especially people younger, is hugely popular. So I just thought it was hilarious that these kids are going to school relatively nearby the studio where all this stuff, or a lot of it, is being shot, and they have no idea. Like, I was thinking to myself, 100% some of these kids have seen these videos and are gonna watch the videos that I'm about to shoot right now. I make my way inside the studio, and it's filled with a bunch of people. Some I know because I actually met them at the big last middle ground I was telling you about. Like this guy, Parker, who is very, very nice, super chill guy. We talked a lot because we were sitting next to each other at the big middle ground. So it was cool to see that he was here too. I said, hi, Parker. And then through Parker, I met Dean, who was in the process of becoming very big because he had just done the Surrounded where he was the one person that was surrounded. And let me just say, by the way, of both these dudes, just so chill, just such nice people. I remember there was a moment actually where I was standing in line for the bathroom at the break, and Dean pulled his nicotine and started tapping it, and I said, not even like trying to signal or anything, I was like, oh man, like dude, you just made me remember, like I left my nic at home, like that's literally first on my bucket list as soon as I get there. And without skipping a beat, this dude goes, like, you want to tap it? And I did. I tapped his nicotine, and yeah, it was a minutia, but I thought it was very nice, and I appreciated it very, very much. So Dean, if you're watching, man, hey, thanks for letting me tap your nicotine, and thanks for being a chiller. Also, it all worked out, so. Anyway, I sat down next to Parker just because I had some history with him at that point, and we got to talking. I looked over at him because at this point, despite the fact that we were about to film this video, they still were keeping it very under wraps who this person was that was about to come and walk in the middle of this circle. So I nudged him with my elbow, thinking because Parker is an influencer and a successful influencer, that he might be a little bit more privy to these sort of details than I would be. And I was completely right. I asked him, hey, so do you know who we're about to do this with? And he just smiled at me, and he shrugged. And I was like, oh, you son of a bitch. You absolutely know. But I get it. You know, I want to keep this close to my chest, too. So anyway, the crew keeps setting up lights and stuff. We're just kind of sitting there. I'm, like, drinking some water. Anyway, the time kept going. They set us up in the seats where we'd be sitting for the full video, and I got sat next to Parker and Dean, much to my delight, because it probably meant I was going to get a decent amount of screen time. The director comes to the middle of the circle, and the suspense at this point is building, because what this director has just said is the person is going to come stand in the circle, they're going to sit down, and then we're going to go. So my guess would be at this point, because we were literally moments from starting, Parker felt like he didn't have to bury the lead so much with me, so he nudged me this time, and I looked at him and he's like, so, you know who it is yet? And I had actually heard like a producer or somebody, and they were trying very hard, it wasn't their fault, but I heard somebody whisper the word Shapiro. So I looked at Parker and I said, well, the rumors are it's Ben Shapiro. And he looked at me, and his eyes grew bigger, and he winked. And I was like, oh, shit! Dude, and then what seemed to be 5 seconds later, he was walking out. And dude, I started having not like a panic attack, but kind of like a weird little moment, because this is Ben Shapiro, who I've literally seen memes of and fucking conversation of on my screen since I was like 13 years old, and now he's sitting right in front of me, and they had me sat so close to him, I could see the hair on his fucking knuckles, dude, okay? So just to say, it was very surreal. It took me a sec to kind of find my center. They cut it differently, so I was one of the first people that ran up. But, like, I literally sat there for 10 or 15 minutes just trying to get my fucking heart rate to go down. Just trying to get myself to calm down and remind myself, like, okay, this is just a dude. This is just a human being. But at the same time, that was sort of part of the complexity. That was sort of part of what made the whole thing so surreal. It was like, whoa, that's a human being. Like, back to the hair on the knuckles, that's a man of flesh and blood. That's Ben Shapiro in the flesh. Also, he was wearing like 4-inch heels. It was really funny. It was really funny. I realized, of course, I was never going to get an opportunity like this again. And I ran for the circle. Now, to be honest, I am not the most informed person when it comes to DEI initiatives. I know what I believe, and I know why I believe that, and why I feel that way. However, you know, it's not really my strong suit to sit in a circle with a bunch of cameras and a bunch of people watching you and debate the things I believe with fierce intensity. And that is Ben Shapiro's entire job. So when I sat down and looked at him in the eyes, I really had to work to keep my cool there because I was freaking out, man. I was freaking out. So the debate begins. And I'm gonna be honest, I didn't do awesome. I think I did pretty well, especially considering although at this point I had done some debates and some on-camera debates with Jubilee, this was my first ever one-on-one debate. Not just on camera, ever. And it's Ben Shapiro looking at me in the eyes, dude. So, to be honest, when watching the video after it came out, there were all these moments I was like, I could have jumped in right there. I could have countered that. I could have said that. But this is so not my, like, skill set. I think I'm getting better at it and I'm having fun with it. But this is so not my skill set when you put me next to someone like Ben Shapiro, who is just 1,000% more experienced at this sort of debating than I am, and especially on camera and the pressures that are associated with that. So, honestly, I was just trying to get up there and not get cooked. And I don't think I did. Most of the people I talked to that were at the shoot before, like, we all left, and most of the people I've talked to since then, since the videos come out, have told me, like, you did a pretty good job. And again, after it being my first ever, not just on camera, but my first ever one-on-one debate, I'll take that, brother. Like, I was happy to walk away with that. And yes, that title is clickbait, all right? You want to blame me? Blame modern YouTube, baby. I don't know what you want from me. I'm just playing the game. I'm just playing the game. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if that upsets you, okay? I'm sorry. No, I didn't win. Shut up. I'm sorry. YouTube sucks. What do you want from me? I want people to watch this video. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. It's not you. I'm not frustrated with you. I'm really sorry. Anyway, I sat down after that, and I knew I was not even going to try and go for the seat. There were a couple times I ran for it just to try and get on camera a little bit more. But literally, as soon as I sat down, I nudged Parker, who was to my left, and I was like, dude, like, now I can just chill. That's what's cool about this. Oh, a couple other things. This dude, Guy, who I also did the pro versus anti-Biden middle ground with, he was actually on the other side with Destiny. That was when I thought that Destiny was the funniest person possible that Jubilee could put me in a room with on camera. I was wrong. But anyway, this dude right here is actually super, super chill. Like I said, we went against each other in the Biden middle ground. But I went up to him the next time I saw him because he's actually been in every subsequent video I've shot. And we just got to talking. And he's a super nice guy. And I sent him the trailer and the link to my movie. And I've checked out his Twitch stream a couple times. So I just wanted to take a moment to say that I really like Guy. And I'm glad that we're becoming, like, kind of friends here. Because it was a little heated naturally in that first one, and I don't think either of us really took it personally, you know, and there's sort of an assumed fakeness when you're on camera anyway, like to how much you want to play it up, but it's cool that we can human to human, like, be cool with each other. And I like Guy. He's funny and he's really smart, and he did a fucking great job in this video. Literally everybody else, me included, basically got voted off within like 2 minutes because everyone else is so desperate to get on camera and make their point. They let Guy go for 15 minutes, 14 minutes, something like that. It was amazing to watch. It was amazing. And also, he's the white guy from the Pretty Fly for a White Guy music video? What the fuck? That is so fucking strange. What the hell? I just thought that was amazing. I've shook hands with the white guy. I'm friends with the white guy. Parker and Dean, you guys were really nice to me in person, but then you didn't follow me back on Instagram, so the fuck's up with that? Nah, I'm just kidding. You guys are chill. All in all, what can I say about this experience? It was very funny. It has become my go-to party conversation. In fact, all of my girlfriend's coworkers, every time we're at a party with them, call me Jubilee John, which is funny. Yeah, I guess the point of this would be take a shot if you want to, right? I filled out a casting form on a website, a public casting form that any of you that are watching this can publicly access and fill out. And some dominoes fell, and a couple months later, I'm sitting in front of Ben Shapiro on camera for cumulatively 13 million people. So, yeah, man, take that shot. You never fucking know. You never know what the universe is going to hand to you on a silver platter. Check out the videos in the description if you want to see more specifically what I'm talking about and some of the little stories and bits I'm referencing. Let me know if you want me to make another or a couple other videos on the other Jubilee videos I was in, because although I just kind of skipped over them here, there was a lot that happened there. There's a lot to talk about. So if you'd like to see more, let me know. I want to take a second before we close here to sincerely thank Jubilee for having my goofy white boy ass in their studios multiple times, for putting me in multiple videos, for trusting me on camera, and for casting me in the first place. I'm deeply thankful and grateful for this experience. It has been a lot of fun. If I never get to do it ever again, I'll be totally fine with that, because I got to do this, and these are stories I will tell for the rest of my life. But with that said, Jubilee, you know where to find me, baby. But also, seriously, thank you guys. Thanks everybody at Jubilee, from casting to directing to on-camera personalities that have been so kind and so professional to me, and made these experiences so enjoyable to look back on and reflect on. Also, I know I said that thing earlier about like being annoyed that you guys cut me out of the video, and like I just obviously want to take the moment to say I am annoyed about it. I drove like 2.5 hours to be there. I mean, and the guy I was sitting next to flew from like Texas. So fair enough. I should shut the fuck up. But fuck you. No, I'm just kidding. I do productions too. I understand sometimes stuff just ends up on the cutting room floor. Or even if you just weren't feeling my presence in the video, that's fine. Obviously, I'm not that egotistical or arrogant. It's actually completely okay. And I'm probably overdoing this explanation. You probably got that was sarcasm. But you know what? I'm anxious. Thank you for watching. There's a new video every single month towards the end of the month right here on Dad's Rad Plaid. You can check out Cut It, Print It, and all my other stuff in the description. And with that, I'm going to get out of here. See ya later.